Witamy. Dzisiaj zaglądamy na rynek krypto. Siedzimy około 20 tysięcy, cały czas między 19,20 do 21 z groszami i z powrotem 20,19, 21 z groszami i siedzimy w tych właśnie widełkach już dość długo. Teraz pytanie jest, co się stanie? Czy będziemy siedzieć tutaj do momentu, aż walniemy w dół znowu do 10, będziemy siedzieć między 10 a 12, jak to się stało z 30 do 20, czy może to już jest ten dołek dołków. Makro się nie zmieniło, ale wiemy, że rynki wyceniają przyszłość szybciej, czyli nie wyceniają nam teraźniejszości, tylko wyceniają nam mniej więcej to, co się powinno dziać w odległości 6-7 miesięcy. Więc teoretycznie możliwe, że w tym momencie wyceniamy ten największy dołek w krypto. No ale tak na dobrą sprawę nikt na 100% nie jest pewny, ale jak już mówiliśmy o Raoul Palu, jego zdaniem właśnie jesteśmy w tym momencie, że wszystko zostało już powiedziane. Nie chcemy go jeszcze włączać. I tutaj przytaczam przykład Long Term Capital Management, gdzie właśnie ta wielka firma upadła, pociągnęła za sobą wszystkich inwestorów w tą firmę, gdzie ona była, nie wiem czy czytaliście historię, ale to była firma założona przez geniuszy, którzy inwestowali w giełdzie. I ci geniusze byli tacy wspaniali, że mieli zarabiać krocie przez bardzo długi okres czasu, co się okazało nie było prawdą. Firma padła, pociągnęła wszystkich inwestorów w dół. No i on tutaj snuje synonimy właśnie do Three Arrows Capital, gdzie wszyscy wrzucali pieniądze do tych Three Arrows Capital, żeby za nich inwestowali, a oni zainwestowali w Lunę, Luna padła i pociągnęła taki sznureczek podobny jak właśnie Long Term Capital. I on mówi, że to jest ten moment, to był ten moment w erze internetu, gdzie Long Term Capital upadł i to był dołek. I on mówi, że tutaj jest bardzo aż rażące podobieństwo w rynku krypto, gdzie właśnie Three Arrows Capital upada i to może być tym, co zaznaczyło dołek właśnie minimalna wycena rynku właśnie dla nas. No oby tak było. Nikt nie chce widzieć Bitcoina za 12 czy 10 tysięcy. No ale cóż, wszystko może się zdarzyć. No jaka jest inna opcja? No nie ma innej opcji tak naprawdę. Albo będą rządy nami rządzić, zaprogramują nam pieniądze i będą nam mówili, jak i gdzie mamy wydawać, albo będziemy używać wolnej waluty od właśnie rządów i innych korporacji. Musimy o tym wiedzieć, bo dążymy do takiej decyzji, że albo my decydujemy, co chcemy kupić, albo ktoś inny za nas zdecyduje. Jeżeli się nie obudzimy, to niestety, ale zostaniemy wykiwani. No mniej więcej taki skrót tego, co on mówił, dla tych, co nie znają angielskiego, a dla tych, co znają angielski albo sobie chcą przetłumaczyć, to polecamy posłuchać wstępu do tego filmu albo obejrzeć cały film z Money Talks. Pozdrawiam.
Financial conditions are priced in an ISM of 35. So the pain of tightening is already in the market. So the probability is that the other side of a recession where conditions loosen is the thing that eventually gets priced in. So as Sam kind of suggests, is that the markets have now, crypto markets, and I showed that with that M2 chart, have priced in this full thing. So it's already there. Again, the Fed are a kind of noise because it's the actual bond market that does the tightening, not the Fed. So the Fed, wherever they are in rates, is irrelevant because the bond market, pushed it all the way up to 3.6% or whatever it did in 10-year rates, and same at the front end. So I think it's a lot of the bad news, however much that is, whether it's 80%, 90% or 100% is in the price. And Sam sees that from the market clearing itself within crypto. How many of the bad positions have been washed out now as we've seen this kind of long-term capital management style blow up where everybody was lending to the same counterpart. And then when the counterpart goes under, everybody goes under. And I've lived through that before. And we talk about that in the interview quite a lot, about how similar it is to long-term capital management with the Three Arrows Capital blow up and how Celsius is linked to it and everything else. So, yes, normally these things are towards the end.
The price of Bitcoin continues to go down as investors sell their crypto assets for less money. Glassnode, a blockchain analytics and intelligence service, says that investors recently sold Bitcoin positions worth a record $7.32 billion, which is a loss of more than $2.4 billion per day for 3 days in a row. This is now the biggest real-world loss in terms of US dollars in the history of crypto. Let's talk about this loss in depth and see if there's any way out of this mess. Hello and welcome to Money Talks. In today's video, macro guru and Real Vision CEO Raoul Pal updates about the most recent trends occurring in Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets, chances of a market bottom, and where he is investing most of his money in this economic turmoil. Make sure to stick around to the end.
Hey, my name is John, and I use
The end of this video where Raoul Pal explains the key reasons that indicate why we are nearing the end of this crypto winter. So without wasting any more time, let's dive right into the video.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at this, and actually I use, monetary tightening as in the rate of change of monetary tightening, plus commodity prices, plus inflation, all of this stuff, and the dollar. I think it's the largest tightening of monetary conditions in all economic history as far as I can find. And it just happened really fast. So, yeah, as you said, this is not a crypto event. This is just a liquidity event.
Macro guru Raoul Pal is naming the 3 conditions that could give the crypto markets a healthy boost after enduring months of rocky price action. In a new interview on the Real Vision YouTube channel, the former Goldman Sachs executive says that the Fed's tight monetary policies are already priced into the crypto markets.
I don't know yet whether we've seen the low. I think so, and I've been averaging it in aggressively, actually. The kind of biggest addition to my crypto bets since 2020 into this, but I don't know where the low is. Could a drop in economic conditions cause further short selling or panic? Possibly. I think the low is close. Whether it's in or not, I can't tell. But I know from all of my economic work, and I've probably got maybe 200 charts to back up all of the stuff I showed, that suggest the balance of probabilities are that a lot of this has been priced, that we've got the inflation problem is probably a thing of the past, and that economic growth is going to fall sharply. Now, what happens when economic growth falls sharply is we now have this Pavlovian instinct of the market looking forwards and saying the Fed are going to pause and monetary conditions are going to ease. Now, don't forget that financial conditions index that I showed you, the global macro investor one, well, that prices in commodity prices and the dollar and yields. So if yields start coming lower, commodities start coming lower, and the dollar eventually tops out, which it's not clear that that's going to happen yet, but at some point it will, then you've got all of those reversing. And that tells you that usually that's when the Fed have started reversing course as well. There is another scenario that is very real, and the scenario is that I'm wrong, that the 1974 short, sharp contraction of the economy and contraction of markets is not that it's 2001-2 or 2008 all over again. In which case, you get a false rally that goes on for a period of time, and then it rolls over and has another whole set of lows. Those are the 50% sell-off style scenarios. I don't see that in the forward-looking data, because I think it looks sharper and shorter than people expect, but that is a possibility. So it's really hard to call in these things, trying to pick lows and stuff is not easy, because, many people got carried out in 2002. I remember it really well. Then 9/11 hit, and then the whole thing rolled over again, and it destroyed people. So, these kind of markets are not easy to trade. The bond market tends to be the easier trade, but it's been hard because of the inflation story has been so sticky. But When it gets easier, that's an easier place to make money.